It's in your coffee, your tea, your soda. Heck, it's even in your chocolate. I'm talking about caffeine. It is, by far, the world's most popular psychoactive substance. I mean, it's the engine that keeps our global workforce running, right? We use it to kickstart our mornings, to bust through that afternoon slump, and to power those all-nighters. But what's the deal with this stuff, really? What is it doing to us? Is it this amazing tool that helps us focus and perform better? Or is it more of a dependency trap that we just think is a benefit? Well, today, we're going to dig into the science and find out. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to look at what's happening inside your brain. And to understand caffeine, you first have to meet the chemical it's basically in a constant battle with. And that chemical is called adenosine. You can think of it as your brain's natural sleepiness tracker. The longer you're awake, the more of this stuff builds up. It latches onto these little receptors in your brain and basically sends out the message, hey, time to wind down, you're getting tired. So when you drink a cup of coffee, the caffeine molecules race up to your brain. And here's the clever part. They look almost exactly like adenosine. So they slide right into adenosine's receptors, but they don't turn them on. It's like they've parked in adenosine's reserved spot, which means the real adenosine can't get in to deliver its sleepy message. And the result? Your brain never gets the memo that it's supposed to be tired, and you feel alert and ready to go. Now, this is a really important distinction to make. See, caffeine is a psychostimulant, but it's not like other stimulants you might think of, like cocaine. Those drugs work by flooding your brain with dopamine, that feel-good chemical. Caffeine's trick isn't about slamming on the gas pedal, it's about cutting the brake lines. It just stops the thing, adenosine, that's trying to slow you down. And that right there brings us to the core conflict in our whole relationship with caffeine, that amazing boost it provides versus the burden that can come right along with it. Okay, so on one side, the boost is legit. It's really well documented. Study after study shows caffeine improves performance, especially when you're already kind of tired. Just look at this. People given caffeine have way faster reaction times than people who get a placebo. This is the magic that helps people get through a night shift or a super long drive. But then, there's the other shoe, the burden. If you're a regular coffee drinker and you suddenly stop, your body is not happy. We're talking caffeine withdrawal. And if you've ever tried to quit cold turkey, I bet this list looks painfully familiar. The headache, the fatigue, yep. And listen, this isn't just something that happens to a few people. In clinical studies, when they secretly switch regular users to decaf, about half of them, 50%, report getting that classic throbbing withdrawal headache. That means for every 2 people in your office, one of them is probably in for a world of hurt without their morning cup. And this isn't just a feeling, it's a real clinically recognized condition. The chair of the committee for the DSM-5, that's basically the Bible of psychiatry, put it plainly. The evidence is abundant. Caffeine withdrawal is very real. And for some people, it can get pretty severe. All of this brings us to a group we really need to talk about, and that's young people. Because when it comes to developing brains, the science suggests there are some very different dangers at play. Think of the teenage brain as this massive construction zone. It's rewiring itself like crazy, especially the parts in charge of things like making good decisions and controlling impulses. All that change makes it way more vulnerable to the effects of any psychoactive substance, and that absolutely includes caffeine. And just look at how they're consuming it. This chart tells a really interesting story. While most adults get their caffeine from coffee, kids and teens are getting theirs from soda and, you guessed it, those high-octane energy drinks. And let's be real, those aren't just drinks. They're basically caffeine delivery systems. And get this, the research has also turned up this really surprising gender split that seems to kick in after puberty. It turns out that post-pubertal males seem to react more strongly to caffeine pretty much across the board. They report feeling the effects more, liking it more, and some even report feeling a high from it. Which, of course, brings us to the big one, energy drinks. The super high doses of caffeine in them have been linked in a bunch of studies to some pretty concerning patterns of behavior. Now, I have to be super clear here. This is a correlation, not necessarily causation. But the link is strong, and it's consistent. Young adults who drink a lot of energy drinks are also more likely to get involved in other risky behaviors, like substance use or even reckless driving. And this isn't just a one-off finding. One major study followed over 1,000 college students over a period of time. It found that the students who used energy drinks were 2.5 times more likely to later start misusing prescription stimulants. It suggests there might be a dangerous pathway from one to the other. So what all this really points to is a simple fact. Even though caffeine is everywhere, there are some huge, glaring questions we still can't answer. And here it is. This is the biggest debate raging among caffeine scientists. That amazing feeling of clarity you get after your first cup of coffee, is that a genuine brain boost? Are you actually performing better than normal? Or are you just treating the symptoms of withdrawal from the day before, just to get yourself back to feeling normal? Both sides have some really good points. The true benefit folks say, hey, we see positive effects even in people who never touch caffeine. But the withdrawal reversal side fires back, yeah, but for regular users, their performance has already dipped overnight. The coffee's just a patch to get them back to baseline. It's a debate that is nowhere near settled. And that's really the key takeaway here. We have some major blind spots in our understanding. We absolutely need more research on the long-term effects on kids, what the safe limits really are with all these new energy drinks, and where that tricky line is between just using caffeine and actually being dependent on it. Which, in the end, brings us all the way back to that first cup of the day. So when you reach for it tomorrow, just ask yourself this. Are you really fueling your focus for the day ahead? Or are you just managing the withdrawal from yesterday? The answer, as it turns out, is a lot more complicated than you might think.